Chains is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. The system savagely designed to destroy us, P. That's why we hustle and pimp, to make a way to build. Escape the ills and try to level the playing field. Cause if you ballin' but your niggas is broke, and your mama still working 9 to 5, that shit is a joke. We destroy and divide when we need to build and share and make the hood full of young black millionaires. Let's go.
Bitch, you want all this pimpin' you can't afford. Perform like a punk, but wanna win his reward. Some suckers give you points, but bitch, you never scored. If you ain't paying pimpin', then bitch, you getting ignored.
Okay.
I'm so sick of these.
You know, black people are some of the most intelligent and entertaining and charismatic individuals on the planet. Everybody knows this. It's pretty much irrefutable, right? And because of this, I know that there has to be some black people or some black person out there with a dope ass idea for a TV show or a reality TV show, you know, this based on intelligent black people or people focused on building black wealth or black unity and things like that. You know, some shit that's funny, entertaining, educational, all of that. But of course, you know, the powers that be don't want to promote that. So they gonna take the idea for Love and Hip Hop over that type of show, because Love and Hip Hop for black people, it promotes ignorance, it promotes foolishness, it promotes black male femininity and black female masculinity, you know, backward shit, right? But it's funny, it's entertaining, because nonetheless it's black people and we just naturally entertaining, just being in our own skin, right? So they gonna choose that type of shit over that. Just like I'm sure there's, you know, some dope ass artists out there, like some that I'm familiar with and that I love, but there's probably a young dope ass artist that we've never heard of that's, you know, talented, gifted, you know, entertaining and educational at the same time, is promoting, you know, black wealth, black unity, things like that. But of course they gon' take the rappers that's going with the narrative of us, you know, being stupid and spending all our money on designers that fucking hate us and all that type of shit, right? And the cold part about it, some of these rappers that's famous right now and is popping, that have songs that promote the bullshit, are probably rappers that originally at one time didn't even rap like that, but they did that shit, you know, for the sake of being successful and feeding their family and so on and so forth. So I can't be mad at them. But nonetheless, us as black people, we some of the most, like I said, intelligent, talented, innovative, charismatic, original motherfuckers on the planet, and especially in America. Yet and still, we are the brokest motherfuckers in America as a people. Yeah, we got certain individuals that have some money, and yeah, it's cool that people like Jay-Z and Kanye and Dr. Dre have become billionaires. That's cool, and we do need to celebrate that. But that's not enough. We should have way more black billionaires. We should have way more young black millionaires. We should just have a whole lot more going on, right? And on the street level, you know, those of us that's in the streets hustling, pimping, scamming, doing whatever we do to get a dollar to make ends meet, right? Some of us got some great potential, and some of us have a nice chunk of money right now to make some power moves with. But instead of making some power moves with that money that we have right now, we want to impress motherfuckers right now, instead of investing to be the best motherfuckers in the future. You dig? And the cold part about it is, like, when you really think about that shit, you spending money on this jewelry, you spending money on this designer shit and luxury cars and houses and all this shit, and it feels good and it's great to have. Trust me, I like luxurious shit too. But the way we prioritize ourselves, our lives, is just totally backwards when you look at other cultures in comparison, right? And it's by design. It's designed for us to be that way. Like, America is designed for us to stay stupid, stay broke, and even when we have an opportunity to become wealthy, do some dumb shit to get back to being broke and stay broke, right? That's the way this shit is designed. But to my young niggas in the streets hustling, man, you know, having money, having it your way, doing your thing, it's cool to go buy some designer shit. It's cool to go buy some jewelry. It's cool to go, you know, buy a car and all that type of shit. And see, that shows people that you have a little bit of money, and it shows people that you fly and you might be balling or whatever the case may be. But what's gonna take you a whole lot further in life and more sustainable is power. You know, a lot of people think that money is power, but it's not necessarily. It's a certain degree of power, but depending on what you do with the money, you'll end up powerless or more powerful. And it's a lot of things that you could do with them racks right now that you got, them bands that you got right now. It's a whole lot of shit that you can do to make you more powerful and make them bands more sustainable. But of course, you know, when you go to the strip club, bitches don't want to, they don't want to have a conversation with a motherfucker about becoming wealthy. They want to have the conversation about, you know, going shopping and having jewelry and getting high and all that type of shit. I know when you go to the nightclub, when you go to the casino, when you go on the strip, whatever city that you in, whenever you hollering at bitches, you dig, it's not fly to talk about investing and all that type of shit, you know, so a lot of bitches is gonna be turned off. But that's right now. You can still be a young fly nigga, but spend a little bit of money and a little bit of time investing in yourself and getting your credit right. It's so many of y'all right now that got a nice chunk of money right now. I'm already knowing, because this pandemic is separated the haves from the have-nots. It ain't no in between right now. It ain't no middle class right now. It's either motherfuckers is really balling or they really fucked up. And there's some niggas in the streets that I'm already knowing is like in a cool position financially right now. But a lot of y'all niggas is gonna be broke next year. The majority of y'all niggas is gonna be broke next year. That money that you got right now, that fun that you having right now, them bitches that you fucking right now, them drugs that you doing right now, that chain that you got on right now, them shoes, them jeans, that shirt that you got on right now, all of that shit is gonna be fucking gone next year. And you're gonna be struggling, trying to figure it out. You're gonna be back to square one, broke as a motherfucker. But right now, if you make the right chess moves, you have the power to position yourself to sustain them bands and turn that 5 figures into 6 figures and that 6 figures into 7 figures. If you make the right moves right now. And one of the right moves that you need to make is getting your credit right. A lot of y'all motherfuckers ain't even got no real debt. A lot of y'all motherfuckers, your total debt is $2,000 or $3,000, just anything less than $10,000. So it won't even take a whole lot to get your credit right. You did? But priorities is just all fucked up. I know what it's like because I was a 21, 22-year-old nigga, you know what I mean, out there having money and didn't have no debt at that time. You did? My debt wasn't shit. I didn't have no debt. But I wasn't thinking about building no credit neither, because I had money right now. I'm having fun right now. I'm fucking bitches right now. I'm fly. You dig? I got all the fly shit. You know what I mean? Fly crib, fly vehicle. I'm just, you know, I'm having my way and I'm having fun. And it's cool right now. You dig? But like Jay-Z said, chains is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. I wasn't thinking about no damn lawyer fees. So guess where I ended up? In the penitentiary doing time. You dig? Because I didn't make the right chess moves. And I was back below square one. That's further backwards than square one. At least square one out here on the streets, you can start all over again. In prison, you can't start a motherfucking thing but a spread with some noodles, some jalapeno cheese spread and tortillas, refried beans, rice, pickles, you know what I mean, summer sausage and all that stupid ass shit. That's the only motherfucking thing you gonna start in prison. You did, but you can't start from square one in that motherfucker. At least on the streets, you can start from square one. It's a lot of y'all motherfuckers that before you travel down that path is either gonna lead you to prison or lead you to being broke as a motherfucker all over again. You can make the right moves. And like I said, one of them right moves is getting your credit right. And it don't take a whole lot, especially for those of y'all, which I already know is the majority. You don't even have no real debt. But if you do have any kind of debts, if you got like $1,000 debt or a $500 debt, man, call them collection agencies. First of all, what you need to do is dispute them motherfuckers. You dig? And see if you can get that shit off. But basically do it whether you gotta dispute it or even if it's only like something like 1,000 or 500 or something, pay that shit off. Paying that shit off is better than, you know, spending 1,000 or 500 on some shoes or a belt. You know what I mean? Because that shit is gonna boost your credit, and that credit is gonna take you a whole lot further than them shoes or that belt. You dig? But there's ways to get that shit off your credit without having to pay for it. But worst come to worst, if you impatient or you just don't know what to do, man, pay that shit off. Get your credit right. And then from there, you can start building or at the same time as you're doing that, you can do certain things to build your credit. You know what I mean? Get some installment credit. Get some revolving credit. You did. Make sure you get you at least 5 accounts on your credit report. And when I say 5 accounts, like I said, installment credit where you're paying something off, like paying a car off. You could go buy a motherfucking $1,000 ring or some shit. You know, some shit that you don't even really care about, and get a prepaid card that, you know, they got the automatic payments that come out every month where you making payments on that jewelry or that car or whatever. You can buy a fucking $5,000 car. Some of y'all already know y'all got the money to do that shit. You go get a $5,000 car, put a down payment on that motherfucker, get a prepaid card that you don't touch, that's specifically for paying off that motherfucking car, and you set it up where the payments come out of that motherfucker automatically every month, and it's building your credit. But like I said, that's installment credit. Revolving credit, get you a secured credit card. If you don't qualify to get, you know what I mean, an unsecured credit card, get you a secured credit card. You know, it's not hard to get qualified for that shit. A lot of them, the minimum is $200. You dig? Where you pay a $200 minimum to open the credit card, and they're gonna match it. They're gonna give you a $200 credit to match that $200 cash that you're putting on there. And out of that $200, let's say your credit limit is 200 or 400, or let's say it's 400. You know what I mean? You spend only 30% of that. You dig? Don't go over 30% every month. You can just use that shit to fill your gas tank up, or go out to eat or some shit like that. And then, you know what I mean, don't go over that and pay that shit off on time. But like I said, 5 accounts on your credit, you know what I mean? So that your credit won't look thin. Because if you ain't got 5 accounts or better, it's gonna make your credit look thin. You know what I mean? I'm just giving y'all a little bit of game. You dig? But for the rest of the game, research that shit. I'm just doing my best to spark your interest in building your credit. You dig? But it's a lot of shit that you could do to build your credit. It's a lot of shit that you could research to build your credit. And there's a lot of things that you can do once you build your credit that money that you have right now won't allow you to do. It's a whole lot of shit that money that you have, even if it's 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, it's a lot of shit that you can't do with that a motherfucking 750 FICO score, 800 FICO score, an 820 FICO score is gonna be able to afford you to do. You dig? Take some time, put a little bit of money into that shit, man, to build your motherfucking credit. You're gonna feel so much more at ease. And then if you fall off, worst case scenario, if your credit is right, you can go get a motherfucking loan and start over again. But this time you sharper with game. You dig? So you're gonna be wiser with the money, wiser with the moves, and maintain, sustain, and build your credit up. You dig? But like I say, man, all that luxury shit, all that designer shit, all that jewelry, you know, the cars and all that shit is cool. But spend a fraction of what you spend on that getting your credit right. And man, it's gonna be so beautiful for you. You dig? Let that marinate on your mind one time. Freezes it. Go ahead, put some of this good old love shit in your body like so.
Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up. And we'll be coming up. Really coming up. Take a sip of this game, let it saturate your brain. Taylor, make your home so we can match it with my name. Then attach it to your frame, right? Now you game tight. Ready, set, ho. You gon' check her back the same night. Now you breaking tricks and handling thousands. While these bitches on the blade doing the mannequin challenge. Standing there looking stupid cause they has no